I'm curious to get your thoughts on your perspective of how things have gone so far with all the different circumstances that you guys are dealing with, the pandemic, the protocols. I mean, from what you've seen so far in a little over a week, how has that process gone for you guys?
It's been outstanding. I can't give enough credit to our organization, from Jim Ramsey all the way up through the top through John Davidson and Gortz and Drew and JR. I mean, this has been a true team effort within our organization. Mr. Dolan doing everything he can possible to put us in the safest environment. The league doing a fabulous job. I know there's a lot of uncertainty this day and age, but we feel like we're in a very safe environment. Our guys are very comfortable here. The organization does an incredible job looking out for everybody's best interest health-wise. And I think it has allowed us to really focus on hockey. And, I think the last 2 days have been pretty good. I think we've done a good job kind of turning up a notch and getting a little bit more into game mode. But, you wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't have the support of everybody else. And we certainly have a lot of support throughout this organization.
Morning, Coach. It's a two-part question. So with Artemi getting the nomination for the Hart yesterday, when you get a special player like that, how is it incumbent upon the coaching staff to maximize his talent? And then secondly, you take a look up and down your lineup, and you have Mika, Ryan Strome, Tony, Booch. Kreider was on pace, and as was Foss, have career years. How much of the system plays into their success as well?
Well, I would think it's way more their talent than the system. This is a game of talent. Hopefully we can, our job is to put them in a position to let their talent shine. Structure's important for sure, but at the end of the day, you've got to let great players play. And as a coaching staff, that's a fine line. You have to walk a fine line. And I think these guys have been very receptive to the structure piece, but, we also have to let these guys play. And I think that's a big part at this level of having your team be successful. And when you have talented players, you have to let them play, but there also has to be some structure and some discipline within their game. And I think when you've got talented players that are able to add that to the game, you're not looking to take anything away from them, you're looking to add to their game. I think you have a chance to have a special player and a special team.
Hi, Dave. I know yesterday you said you didn't want to open the vault, but looking at practice today, it seemed like Igor was in the net at the other end the whole time, whereas the other two guys shared time in the one end. Does that suggest that you've made a decision and you're going to announce something anytime soon?
No, that doesn't mean that. Obviously, like we said, the way the practice was today, there was one drill that we did where he was handling the puck and Georgie and Hank were taking all the shots in that one drill. Igor did have a full net today, and we'll probably move that around a little bit moving forward. It's just, it's not easy. It's a complicated dynamic when you've got three and you're trying to get everybody shots. So, we're all evaluating.
Yeah, David, we've talked a lot about Igor and Kako in the last week or so, but there's so many young players on this team. I know we're going to talk to Hedel shortly here. Can you put into words why this experience is so valuable for these young players, regardless of how it turns out, just moving forward, what this will mean to them?
Well, I think they're going to find out it's different hockey. I think as much as anybody can tell them it's different, I think they have to experience. And sometimes you have to suffer to do the most learning. Sometimes you have to make mistakes to learn the most. And, they're going to find out the guy in December who you're playing against who isn't back-checking is going to back-check in July in this instance. The guy who you're going to go in a corner with who might pull up and let you win that puck race, puck battle, is probably going to dig deeper and make you earn that puck possession. So these are things you have to learn. As much as you've told it, I think the best learning tool is to experience it. And I think those lessons that we're going to learn are going to be invaluable. But this isn't about creating experience for us down the line. This is about us winning hockey games.
Hey Dave, along the same lines, you've got a lot of guys with zero experience, and you've got, I think, three guys with a lot. How much would you depend on those guys to maybe get some of their experiences across and what it really is like to play in these games?
Well, they're already doing that And, that's the one thing about this team. There is a lot of age differences. We've kind of got a two-tiered team with some guys in their 30s and a lot of guys in their early 20s. And the thing that I think that has made this group special is that there is a connection between those groups. And there isn't a divide. I think our guys are constantly, the older guys are talking to the younger guys. Just in general, just in normal conversation about their experiences, their past experiences, and what they can expect moving forward once we get up into Toronto. So I don't think that's anything that we have to, ask our veterans and our older players to do. I think they're doing it on their own. Matter of fact, I know they're doing it on their own. And you can see it in practice, when we're going over face-off stuff like we were today. You can see, Stalzy and Smitty and Hank and, guys that have been around, Quickie, guys that have been around and playing a lot of playoff hockey games, talking to our guys and talking about how important these little things are.
Yeah, hi, Dave. You mentioned yesterday that the way Butch had played in the last couple months of the season before they shut down really warrants him holding on to his place. I mean, you're trying to pick up where you left off here. But I'm wondering if you could just give us a little overall sort of thumbnail of how far Butch has come. I mean, I know you had some struggles with him, I guess, your first year here, and he just seems to, I don't know, I don't want to put the words in your mouth, but, can you just tell me what he is now compared to what he was when he got here?
Well, I think there's much more of a trust factor from his end of it with our staff. I think he's more comfortable. I think he understands how highly we think of him. I think he understands that everything we're asking him to do is in his best interest, which in turn is in our best interest. I just think it's just the natural evolution of a career. I think this guy's been highly talented. He's been a great player for a long time. I think he went through some growing pains in the National Hockey League that a lot of guys go through. And I give him a lot of credit. He's a lot of fun to be around. We have a lot of laughs with him, and he's very coachable right now, and he wants to please, and he wants to win. And, we wouldn't be here without him.
Going back to Hedel for a second, can you just sum up the impact that he had kind of stabilizing things on that third line for you guys this season, and even the time he had on the second line when Mika was hurt?
Yeah, when you remember when we called him up from Hartford, Mika got hurt, and he stepped in and really, from the get-go was dynamic. I mean, I think he scored a lot. I don't know how many goals he scored when he first came up. He was on a torrid pace. And it really allowed us to kind of, when you lose Mika, I think if you told anybody in late September, early October, you're going to lose Mika for 13 games, that was going to be a tall task to overcome. That being said, I think we went 8-4-1 during that stretch. And I think, like I know I've said this before, I think it gave us some hidden confidence. I think it gave us belief in each other. And I think it gave us something that we thought we could hang our hat on, where all of a sudden we got Mika back, we were able to have success without him. I think guys kind of realized what we were capable of doing once he did come back, and we got some continuity and some rhythm. And I think that's kind of what happened. I think Phil allowed that to happen.